What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Classic Chronicles. I hope everybody enjoyed yesterday's vlog where I viewed NXT No Mercy. If you haven't checked that out, please do. But for right now, we're gonna keep the wrestling going, wrestling talk going, I should say, and we're gonna talk about WrestleDream, which went down on Sunday night in. From the Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle, Washington, AEW WrestleDream. So the story behind this show is it was basically Antonio Inoki, uh, a real pioneer of professional wrestling, a legend, responsible for bringing, for bringing American stars to Japan to wrestle and kind of showcase their skills, the skills of American stars. Real pioneer in the business. This was his tribute show. He passed away exactly 1 year to the day yesterday, as Sunday, as I'm 1 day to the day Sunday that I'm recording this. It's Tuesday now, but I'm recording. But he passed away 1 day a year ago on last Sunday. Yeah. You shout out to Antonio Inoki, and it was the 0 hour, which is the pre-show, kicked off with Tony Khan, the president and CEO of AEW, and Antonio Inoki's grandsons, paying tribute to Antonio Inoki in the ring, and various wrestlers talking about his influence on them, and what he meant to the wrestling business. Like I said, he was a pioneer and a legend. But as for the action, it started off with an 8-person mixed tag match. Satoshi Kojima, another Japanese legend, Billy Starks, Athena, and Keith Lee ended up defeating Mercedes Martinez, Diamante, Lee Moriarty, and Shane Taylor of Shane Taylor Promotions. Yeah, this wasn't a bad opener, but it wasn't good either. It's kind of in the middle. But but yeah, no, I definitely want to see more one-on-one action between Keith Lee and Shane Taylor. They mixed it up a couple of times in tag team action, ever since the resurgence of Ring of Honor, but they haven't really mixed it up one-on-one in the new era of Ring of Honor or AEW. So I would definitely like to see those two go at it. Two big bulls going at it. But in the next match, you had a technical masterpiece. And that ain't gonna be the last time I use that term in this vlog. Trust me. So it was Claudio Castagnoli, former Ring of Honor World Champion, going up against the War Master Josh Barnett. For those of you who don't know Josh Barnett, man, he's about as technical as you can get, man. Real old school technical vet from the likes of Billy Robinson and Carl Gotch and all those technical guys, man. And he's helped helped some of the best wrestlers hone their skills, such as John Moxley and and Brian Danielson and all those guys, kind of hone their skills, and they've trained with them and worked with them to get their submission game to the best of their ability, and this, like I said, man, it was a great match, man. And John Moxley on commentary is just amazing, man. He's just got such a knack for it. You can tell how much he loves the business, and it's good to see him, recovering and in good spirits after that horrible concussion that he suffered at AEW Grand Slam, which I was there for a couple of weeks ago. So it's good to see him back and doing well. Um, I'm sorry, man. Man, I'm like I had to burp and then, shit. Okay, so anyway, Claudio Castagnoli ended up defeating Josh Barnett in a great match, but it was a little bit too short for my liking. I would have loved to seen them go at it a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, at the end of the match, Josh Barnett ended up putting over Claudio and saying, anytime, any place that you want to rematch, I'm there. And it's cool. I hope we do get that because I can watch those two wrestle all day. Like I said, I love the art of professional wrestling. Um, in the next matchup, it was another short one. Luchasaurus defeated Nick Wayne, Seattle's own Nick Wayne. Huge pop for Nick Wayne, the hometown boy. But just couldn't get it done against the big man Luchasaurus, despite his best efforts. And in the final match of the pre-show, the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, or Billy Gunn, if you want to just get technical, defeated TMDK, the Mighty Doneel, Shane Haste, Nick Miller, and Bad Dude Tito, to retain the AEW Trios Championship. Really fun match. The Acclaimed is always fun to watch in the ring, and Billy, having Billy Gunn work with them just adds another layer of coolness to the Acclaimed. So that was the pre-show. And now time for the main event. First up on WrestleDream, you had the AEW World Champion and one half of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, MJF defeats the Righteous, Vincent and Dutch. And you might be asking yourself, why isn't the other half of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions Adam Cole with him, with MJF? That is because Adam Cole, at Grand Slam, he was running down to the ring and took a really bad fall and just broke his ankle in three places. So he'll be out of action for a while. And but MJF chose to defend the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships on his own and got the job done against a very good team of the Righteous. So major props to MJF. Next up, you had Eddie Kingston defend both the Ring of Honor and New Japan Strong Openweight Championships against the Ring of Honor Pure Champion Katsuyori Shibata. So, man, what a great match this was. Very physical. Eddie Kingston's very physical. Katsuyori Shibata's very physical. Just two very physical guys just going at it and leaving it all in there, and that's what you want to see when you watch a good match. That's one of the elements of a good match, man. You just want to see everybody just give it their all. You don't want to see people phoning it in or not showing interest in it, because if they don't show interest in it, the people watching aren't going to be interested in it, and that's a very bad thing. But these guys, went out there and did their thing. And Eddie Kingston picked up the win against the legendary Katsuyori Shibata. Next up, the TBS Championship was on the line as Chris Statlander defended against the House of Black's Julia Hart. Now, I'm like, Julia Hart has been in this business a very short time. And, when she first came in AEW, she had the cheerleader gimmick and was with Brian Pillman and Griff Garrison, and they were the Varsity Blondes. But ever since joining the House of Black, she's had a more aggressive side to her. Brody King, Malachi Black, and Buddy Matthews have brought out an aggressive side in her. And she's gotten very good in ring wise. Much improved when she first came in, and that's what you want to see. But major props to Julia Hart, and it seems like Chris Statlander has her number because she's never beaten Chris Statlander in singles competition. Julia Hart's first loss was to Chris Statlander in her AEW in-ring debut. And the last time Julia Hart lost, before going on a 28 match win streak, I believe, was against Chris Statlander. So, and then tonight, Chris Statlander beat her again when the TBS Championship was on the line. But major props to both women. It was a very, very good match. I enjoyed it immensely, and again, much respect to Julia Hart and Chris Statlander. Next up, it was a fatal four-way match to determine the number one contenders for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. You had the Lucha Brothers, the Young Bucks, the Guns, and Orange Cassidy and Hook. Orange Cassidy and Hook, very entertaining team. And they are the only team. They were the only team in that match that aren't brothers. Um, but uh, but yeah, no. Despite a very fun match, um, the Young Bucks ended up pulling out, getting the win, and they will get a future World Tag Team title shot, AEW World Tag Team Championship match. And as for the Lucha Brothers, man, I hope Ray Phoenix is okay. He seemed to be legitimately hurt, and he was taken out of the match very early on, and with some sort of injury. I couldn't see exactly what happened, but I hope he's okay. Ray Phoenix is currently the AEW International Champion, and I feel like that championship is cursed. First, the whole John Moxley thing with him suffering a concussion, as I alluded to earlier, and now Ray Phoenix getting injured, so it's a bit of a cursed title. But again, I certainly hope Ray Phoenix is okay, and major props to all four teams in that match for putting on a hell of a match. Next up, you had one of the matches that I was personally looking forward to, and it did not disappoint. Hangman Page, Adam Page taking on Swerve Strickland, and Swerve Strickland had the crowd behind him. Another Washington State native. Although Shane Strickland is not from Seattle, he's from Tacoma, which is not too far from Seattle, but so he kind of had the home field advantage going in this match, and the crowd kind of booed Hangman Page, and and in the end, Shane Strickland ended up defeating Hangman Page. Despite and Prince Nana, man, who was ringside for the match, man. He's such a gem, man. Him dancing to Swerve's theme is probably the best thing that you'll see, and one of the best things you'll see in AEW, man. He's always and I've hung around him a few times, man. He's such a pleasure to hang around with, and it's so entertaining, man. So shout out to Prince Nana. Um, Next up, you had a grudge match of sorts. Ricky Starks went one on one with the Blackpool Combat Club's Wheeler Yuta. John Moxley was once again on commentary, and after a great showing from Wheeler Yuta, despite a great showing from Wheeler Yuta, I should say, Ricky Starks was able to pick up the win there, and continuing his feud with the Blackpool Combat Club. He was he's currently in a feud with Brian Danielson, and now changed his focus to Wheeler Yuta, and hopefully when Mox gets back, he'll feud with him next. That'll be pretty cool to see. But hey, major props to Ricky Starks for picking up the win there. Uh, next up, you had what many people were calling a dream match. Brian Danielson taking on Zack Sabre Jr. Now, yeah, like I said, this wasn't you heard me use the term technical masterpiece earlier, and this one defines the term, man. Two just mad legends and mad just there's not enough adjectives that I could describe that I could use to describe these two great competitors' mat wrestling ability, man. And this did not disappoint. It was technical from beginning to end, and in the end, Brian Danielson ended up uh, getting the best of Zack Sabre Jr. representing the mighty Don't Kneel. So, oh man, okay, and then next, and after that, yeah, it was a 6-man tag. The Don Callis family, Sammy Guevara, Konosuke Takeshita, and Will Ospreay taking on Chris Jericho and the Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega and Dakota Ibushi. Um, yeah, man, what a great entertaining match. But in the end, the Don Callis family ended up picking up the win when Sammy Guevara pinned Chris Jericho. You know, the story here was very simple. Don Callis used to be Kenny Omega's right hand man, but after he turned on him, and he turned on him and said that he was gonna start a get some new family that actually cared about him, and that Kenny never cared about anybody but himself and all that. But yeah. So it was the feud started at all in London last month when Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi lost to Konosuke Takeshita and and shit who shit, I don't remember. But yeah, no. So it started last month at All in London, and then continued at All Out when Kenny Omega lost to Konosuke Takeshita in a one-on-one match, and then now it continued into WrestleDream, and I just told you the result of the match. So yeah, the Don Callis family is up 3-0 against Kenny Omega. um, and in your semi-main event, you had FTR defend the AEW World Tag Team Championship against Aussie Open, and I believe a year ago to the day on Sunday as well, when these two teams first clashed in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Uh, in England, I believe they had at Royal Quest. They had their first matchup for the New Japan Pro Wrestling heavyweight tag team championship. And FTR ended up getting the win there as well as they did tonight. Like I said, a very hard fought matchup. It seems like Mark Davis injured his wrist during the matchup. I hope he's okay. But despite that, a very good effort by both teams, and FTR came out on top. And which means we will be getting FTR versus the Young Bucks Part 4 somewhere down the line for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. And in your main events, it was a 2 out of 3 falls match for the TNT Championship. Christian Cage taking on Darby Allin, and lots of shenanigans in this match. A lot of interference. Christian ended up defeating Darby Allin for the to retain the the TNT Championship. But that is not the big story here. There are two big stories coming out of this matchup. Uh, Christian absolutely tried to destroy Darby Allin. Slamming him into the steps, taking out the padding that's under the mat, leaving the wooden boards, and boy, that if you've never been in the ring and you've never gotten slammed on those wooden boards, man, that mat doesn't do a lot of the mat is not very giving, but just having those wooden boards there, you're getting the full brunt of the impact. So and these men beat the living hell out of each other, and that's what I like, man. It was a very good physical match, but like I said, two big things coming out of here. The heel turn of the aforementioned Nick Wayne. Darby Allin and Nick Wayne go way back. They trained together at the Buddy Wayne Wrestling Academy that Nick Wayne's father Buddy ran, and Darby Allin kind of brought Nick Wayne into AEW, and he turned on him. But the other big story here is that that Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge, is now a part of All Elite Wrestling. His contract expired. He expired on September 30th, and he was free to sign anywhere that he wanted. Did not renew his contract with the WWE after almost 30 years with the company. Uh, and and man, it just no, not 30 years. Like 20 years with the company, I should say. Anyway, Edge is not that old, damn. But anyway, yeah. So Edge did not renew his contract over after almost 2 decades with the company, and he is now a part of All Elite Wrestling, and it looks like he decided to align himself with Darby Allin and Sting to go up against his former tag team partner Christian, Nick Wayne, and Luchasaurus. So we'll see how that goes. Um, like I kind of everybody knew it was coming, but you even though you know it's coming, you still kind of get excited, man. It's just for me, it's a feeling of excitement and weirdness because they're so used to seeing Adam in the WWE and then seeing him in a whole new company with all new potential matchups. That is gonna be good. So I'm excited to see what Edge does in AEW, even if it's just for a short time. But anyway, that is gonna do it for this episode of the Classic Chronicles. Like, subscribe, share. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss a video. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.